ॐ विश्वं दर्पणदृश्यमाननगरी तुल्यन्निजान्तर्गतं पश्यन्नात्मनि मायया बहिरिवोद्भूतं यथा निद्रया यः साक्षात् कुरुते प्रबोधसमये स्वात्मानमेवाद्वयं तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये बीजस्यान्तरिवाङ्कुरो जगदिदं प्राङ्निर्विकल्पं पुनः मायाकल्पितदेशकालकलना वैचित्रचित्रीकृतं मायावीव विजृम्भयत्यपि महायोगी वयस्वेच्छया तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्तिः 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 सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम् ॐ पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वामनुसन्दधामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणीम् यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्ररुद्रमरुतः स्तुन्वन्ति दिव्यैस्तवैः वेदैः साङ्गपदक्रमोपनिषदैः गायन्ति यं सामगाः ध्यानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनः यस्यान्तं न विदुःसुरासुरगणाः देवाय तस्मै नमः देवाय तस्मै नमः। आश्चर्यवत् पश्यति कश्चिदेनम् आश्चर्यवद् वदति तथैव च अन्यः आश्चर्यवच्चैनमन्यः शृणोति श्रुत्वाप्येनं वेद न चैव कश्चित्। So we are seeing this Ashcharyavat. It's really a wonder how this knowledge arises in a person. Ashcharyavat pashyati kashchidenam means someone who knows about this Atma is a wonder. But one who gets a clarity about the self is a wonder. And also the one who speaks about also is a wonder. Atma itself, the object of knowledge, also is a wonder, etc. We have seen that. One who talks about, the teacher also is a wonder. And the teaching itself is a wonder. How to give the knowledge? Because no word can definitely illumine the Atma, because words are illumined because of the Atma. Those words cannot illumine the Atma, and therefore Shabda Pramana also, the means of knowledge called, the words, cannot do anything. But then all the teachers employ the only one means of knowledge, that is words. And how do you know but the knowledge takes place? It may be that the words, exchange of words may be going on, but no knowledge takes place. It's not so. The Sampradaya itself proves that there are many teachers who have known the Brahman through the words. The words which cannot reach to the Brahman, yato vacho nivartante, still words are able to give the knowledge. Yeah, that's the wonder. That is how it is. And many other things about the teacher also I have told you. Now only thing which is left over is Sureshwaracharya ji has told very beautifully that I was discussing yesterday, Saturday, that durbalatvad avidyayaha atmatvad bodharupinaha Shabda Shaktehe Achintyatvat Vidmaha Tam Mohahanatah. Very nicely says Avidyayaha Durbalatvat. Very saving grace is that any dosha will be always a weaker than the guna. So then, well, avidya also is a dosha, definitely, and therefore it is considered very weak compared to the knowledge, which definitely is powerful than that. And here knowledge means will be words. So words are considered very powerful compared to avidya. And just as the medicine which is powerful removes the dosha called disease. Well, same way the words has the very, very unimaginable power while it can remove this avidya, which is dosha for that. And not only that, here Sureshwaracharya says moha hanatah. It removes the delusion. Delusion means, yesterday Puja Swamiji also said about it, moha. Delusion means what? The thing is of one nature and you know it entirely differently. That's called moha, that's all. Moha vaichitya. Vaichitya, moha dhatu has the meaning in Sanskritam vaichityam. Vaichityam means it is of having one nature and you know it differently. Well, it's a born of tamoguna. And that is how it is happening. Sometimes things, even in Vyavahara also we see, the thing or a person may be of a one type and we know him entirely contrary. That is happening due to our effect of a tamoguna. And so moha hanatah, it removes basically these words, the power of the words remove this moha. And moha is born of course of avidya, and therefore avidya also goes. So the words have this words have a tremendous power to remove this avidya and moha, everything. And beautiful drashtanta is given. This drashtanta is very popular in Upanishad also. And Acharya gives a drishtanta that as the person who is sleeping, when he sleeps, he is not able to listen anything. Well, such a person, if he is not still, when somebody speaks his name, calls him with his name, immediately gets up. To the extent that when person sleeps, we know that all his senses are resolved. Mind also is resolved. Deep sleep state, in which even sometimes he is snoring. And people go to a very deep sleep state on the railway platforms and everywhere. And where there is a lot of noise. People are talking, all the passengers are around, they are talking and everything. This person does not listen anything. If he keeps on listening, he will not have a deep sleep. And therefore, he is in a very deep sleep. He does not listen anything. To such a person, even though so much of noise is not listening, to such a person, if the person is called by his name, I don't know, he just gets up. Why? Like any other sound is there, this is also sound. But when he is called by his name, he just gets up. Otherwise, even lots of things, even suppose a thief has stolen something on the platform and people are running after and there is lot of noise and everything. This person doesn't know anything at all. He sleeps very well. To such a person, if he is called by just his name, well, he gets up. That's the power of a word. And therefore, basically, so same way, this person who is in a waking state, he is sleeping. Anadi mayaya suptaha yada jiva prabudyate. He is sleeping in that avidya. Or he is sleeping in the avidya, I mean the person who is right now in a waking, and he has avidya. And such a person, when he is told by his name, and his name is what? Tattvamasi. Oh, you are that. And he gets up. So that shows, like the person who is in a deep sleep state, he does not listen any other sound, but yet if he is called by his name, that sound he listens very nicely, he just gets up. Same way the person who is sleeping in avidya, when he is called by his name that you are Brahman, well, that is his nature. And so it is called by that name and he gets up. That is the power of, unimaginable power of the words. This is Sureshwaracharya ji tells, not an ordinary person. He is not an ordinary person. Such a great teacher tells this That, and so he said, don't worry about this lakshana, implications and words implicate implied meaning of the words, and otherwise we will not know the Atman, etc. Just forget it. Words have a tremendous power to wake you up to your own nature. And avidya is a durbalam, and words are like a medicine. Avidya is like a disease. It will go. And therefore just keep listening. It is able to remove the avidya. The words are able to remove avidya, and therefore just like the teacher is ascharyam, well, the method of teaching is nothing but the words. And even though words cannot reveal Atma, still words can reveal my own nature, can make me wake up from this avidya, and therefore it is the teaching itself is considered as a ascharyam. Just as the teacher is ascharyam, and this teaching is also ascharyam. Teacher also, we have seen how it is ascharyam. He should not see any other thing other than himself, and still he sees everything, and he sees all the disciples, he sees everything and keeps on, he sees the books, and he brings lot of references. I mean, he remains in the Dvaita and Dvaita only. And he teaches also. He is not teaching to himself. He has to teach someone other than himself. Then if he is seeing other than himself, then he is establishing Dvaitam. How can he teach? Well, he is able to teach. I have explained you that. I don't want to go again into that. But how do you know, Swamiji, the person has woken up? What is the measuring rod that we say the person has woken up? Well, the person sleeps and he wakes up, that everyone can tell. But here one is sleeping in avidya and he wakes up. How do you know that the person has woken up? Otherwise, we are not ready to believe this power of your words. We are not ready. You have to tell us the lakshana of 1 minute. You have to tell us the lakshana of the waking person. I mean, waking from this avidya. What is the lakshana? Well, Chandogya Upanishad very beautifully says, Tarati Shokam Atmavit, when Naradji and Sanat Kumara Samvada. In that Naradji said, well, I am having so much of sorrow, I know so much. All the Vedas I know, and I know Jyotisham, I know Chandas, I know this, I know that. So many Vidyas. Sanat Kumara asked him, what do you know? Because he said that I want to know the Atma, etc. Then Sanat Kumara asked him, what are the things you know? And he gave a big list. And then Sanat Kumara very nicely said, you know everything without, like you know all the zeros without knowing the one. Then what is the value of that? That is how it is. So if you don't put one in front and you put several zeros behind, well, it has no value. If you remove the one, what is the value of the zeros? That is how it is. And therefore, basically, then in the Samvada, well, beautifully said, Tarati Shokam Atmavit. One who knows this Atma, well, he is crossing the ocean of sorrow. So one who has woken up, definitely he should not grieve for anything. That's all. So even if you want to know the other person has woken up or not, you don't want to know that you have woken up or not, no problem. If other person has woken up or not, well, he is grieving or not grieving. Well, Bhagavad has told in the very first verse here itself, Ashocyananda Shochastam, and the same thing has been told there. So Tarati Shokam Atmavit. So this is the beautiful thing. And well, then so keep on listening from the teacher. Keep on listening. Well, 1 minute. Keep on listening from the teacher till you will not grieve. That's all. But Swamiji, this is Shravanam. Why you are giving so much emphasis on Shravanam? One day you give emphasis on one thing, next day you give, because we forget. So that is how you keep moving here and there. It's not like that. It's not like that. Even Sureshwaracharya ji says, suppose in case, if you are not able to do Nidhyasana, no problem. Keep on listening. Keep on listening. So do you mean that what Brihadaranyaka Upanishad has said it is wrong? No, not at all. In Brihadaranyaka Upanishad it has been clearly told that Atmavare Drashtavyaha, Shrotavyaha, Mantavyaha, Nididhyasitavyaha. So you are going against Shruti? No way. Initial Shravanam gives you clarity. This Shravanam, this is amazing that the words, what you are listening, does not create any new knowledge, honestly. It doesn't create any new knowledge. Don't think that daily you are knowing something new. Not at all. Daily we are trying to remove the ignorance and the effects of ignorance. That's all. What is the effect of ignorance? Is nothing but the self-confusion, born of self-ignorance. So daily in and out, if you listen to any teacher, ultimately it is to remove the confusions and thereby even the ignorance also. Or removing the self-ignorance and the self-confusions born of it. That's all. No new knowledge is created. Atma is basically knowledge, the consciousness. Therefore, no new knowledge is created here. Only Ajnanam and its effect go. That's all. So keep on listening. Keep on listening. Keep on listening. Initial listening gives clarity. Further listening turns into Nididhyasana. Once you know that it is all about me only, then every class of any teacher, every class of any teacher is basically becomes a Nididhyasanam itself. That is what Sureshwaracharya ji has told. Anyway, so this is how it is wonder. Generally, words give you knowledge pertaining to any knowledge, any discipline of the knowledge which is taught in the universities. You definitely come to know something new about it. But in Atma Jnanam, it's a wonder that it does not create any new knowledge, because Atma is Jnana Swarupa, but it only removes the self-ignorance and the effects born of the self-ignorance. That is self-confusions, and self-confusions means Dehatma Buddhi, etc. And like, you need not have, they give an example also, that you need not have to do anything for making the gold shine. It is shining all the time. But if it is lying somewhere and then a lot of dust falls on it and deposit on it, so only thing you require is to clean that dust. You need not have to do anything in order to make shine the gold. Because it is by nature it is shining all the time. So you have to just remove the dust which has deposited on it. Same way Atma is Brahman basically, but then these are dust has been deposited in it. What are the dust? These 5 sheaths which we talk in the morning. So that's how. Sheath means cover. So dust also always covers, right? Dust also covers cover the nature. In case of gold, let us say it really covers the shining of the gold. But here in our case, all these 5 sheaths, physical sheath and these modifications of the food, etc., we have seen in the morning, well, they as though cover, and so you have to remove that cover. And they are born of their mistakes. We have told in the morning, they are born of basically self-ignorance, and therefore, if all the time in the Shravanam also, the process is to remove those covers. So what is covered, we have to remove it. Well, that's all. So then I am shining, I am self-illuminating, self-evident, and Brahman shines all the time like the gold, and therefore I am by nature I am consciousness, and therefore by words really don't give any new knowledge. Words remove this basically the confusions regarding the self and the self-ignorance. We try to remove the self-ignorance, and thereby the effects also of the self-ignorance go. And therefore, it is really a wonder. So Atma, the Acharya is a wonder, who talks about it is a wonder, and the teaching is a wonder, and Atma is a wonder we have already talked, so I don't want to go again. And so this is how the second wonder. 3 types of wonders are there. We have covered 2. Ascharyavat pashyati kashirenam, Ascharyavat vadati tathaiva cha anyah, then Ascharyavat chaina manya shrunoti. Well, shrunoti. So one who listens to Atma is a wonder. The Shrota here is a wonder. Definitely wonder. That is proven in every class. It is proven. In every class it is proven. That so many people are there, and it is a universal mistake. Nobody considers it as a mistake. Nobody considers that this is a mistake. So one who listens to this also is a wonder. One who listens to that, well, he takes it as a mistake is a wonder. Very because a mistake is generally means a specific person has done. That's how we point out the mistake also. But here it's a universal mistake, and when it is universal mistake, no one feels it is a mistake. In fact, one who tries to show it as a mistake is a mistakeful person, and therefore definitely is not, never it has been considered that. So you won't get a shrota also of this. Anyway, so Ashcharyavat enam atmanam shrunoti. One, this shrota also is a wonder. And moreover, let's talk about the shrota, with all this qualification. Well, he should be vidwan. Vidwan means uha poha vichakshanaha, vidwan, etc. etc. Medhavi. All this has been told by Bhashyakara in Vivek Chudamani. So he should be vidwan means he should have a basic infrastructure. He should be an informed person. Informed person in terms of he should know the language, Sanskrit language or few things like that. And then Medhavi. So whenever he is listening, he is able to understand and then he can retain it also. So dharanam, grahanam, samarthyam. Dharan, grahan, samarthyam, Medhavi means. And that is how we have a prarthana for Medha. In several, in our Dasha Shanti mantra, we have that prarthana for Medha. And Medha means this: what you receive from the teacher, you should be able to understand clearly. That's first criteria in a shrota, first qualification. And the second is he should be able to retain it also. And then he should be vidwan. He should be informed person about Shastra, etc. Shastra in general and language. And the third is uha poha vichakshanaha. He should have a logical capacity to what is important, what is not important. Generally, teacher talks about what is purposeful, what is the purport of the Shastra, etc. He only talks about it. But in case if Shastra has many other subject matter, well, he should be able to know it, of course. But then he should not give the importance to that kind of a capacity. And then sadhan chatushtaya sampatti. Abba. So this is the shrota of this Atma Jnana, who has all this vidwan, and then sadhan chatushtaya sampatti, and then guru pasadanam also. Guru pasadanam. That's another thing. Yeah? And so he should be able to surrender to the teacher, etc. etc. Tadvidhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya upadekshanti te jnanam atma. In Bhagavad Gita it has been told like this: Tadvidhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya. And therefore he should be able to ask the question, and he should be able to serve the teacher, and there are methods of approaching the teacher, and he should be aware of that, and he should approach in that manner only and formal way. All these things. Well, where is such a shrota is wonder. And then Shravanam itself is a wonder, because after Shravanam he will ask the same thing. It is possible. Like I will tell you in Kenopanishad. In Kenopanishad, whole Upanishad has been taught. Whole Upanishad. And lastly, the Shishya asks the teacher, what? Upanishadam bho bruhi iti ukta te Upanishad brahmi vava te Upanishadam abbruma iti. Oh teacher, see, he has learned entire Upanishad. Kene shitam padati preshitam manaha. From starting from that, and so nicely teacher has described Atma, Shrotram, etc. etc. Yan manasana manute, what is that? Yena shrotrena na shrunoti, yena shrotram idagum shrutam, etc. etc. So it has been told. Atma has been defined in so many ways. And after listening to that, the Shishya, the Shrota, asked the teacher, oh teacher, please teach me the Upanishad. What happens to teacher? And teacher is really having a lot of compassion and this one. And then he says, well, oh my dear son, the Upanishad has been taught to you. Till what I have talked in so many lectures is what? So I have taught you the Upanishad which reveals Brahman indeed. So it's the last question in the Upanishad. So Shrota I mean, one who, the Shota is really a wonder who can then ultimately understand also. So, Shrutva api yenam vedana chaiva kasyit. Even after listening, he does not understand. Pujya Swamiji gives a beautiful example which I like, which I want to share with you. Of course, you have everything, but I would like to, share it. Well, someone is this person who is after listening everything asks like that, please teach me Upanishad. After teaching Upanishad, still that person who has listened to Upanishad asks that, please teach me Upanishad. Then Pujya Swami says it is like the man who listened to a musician that, who sing, Hamsadvani, let us say one melody, the name of a particular melody, raga, and then this person was listening for a 1 hour or something, and he was nodding his head also as though he understood the music very well. And the end of the rendering, well, however, the man said to the musician, "Oh Panditji, please sing Hamsadvani next." Then the musician said, "For 1 hour, the whole music was I rendered this particular raga only, Hamsadvani." This person was nodding the head as if he was knowing that. But at the end, he asked the same question, that please, Panditji, please sing Hamsadvani next. Till what he has sang till today, till this 1 hour is this thing only. So there is always someone in the audience who will definitely at the end of the Vedanta talk will say, I did not understand anything. Shota is also a wonder, and even after he listens, he will definitely feel that he doesn't know. And I give you our own example. Oh, let's forget about it. Our own example. Several times we know that, well, between in the moments of joy, what you get is your own self, that is the happiness, etc., etc. And even we listen several times this. When we really get up and go out, we feel I am the most unhappy person, and you will definitely search for the happiness in the outer world. So we have listened so many times that I am happiness, lot of logic also, but at the end, Vedana chaiva kasyit, as if we really don't know the Atma. That is how it is. This is the wonder. Shrutva api yenam atmanam na veda kasyit. Someone. Let's say that you people are not like that, or I am not like that, let us accept. But someone else. So even after listening about Atma and several times that I am not the physical body, I am not the physical body, I am not the physical body, but when he gets up, he feels that he is none other than the physical body. After a class, he definitely feels like that he is none other than the physical body. Not even an iota of doubt comes to his mind. That I have listened that I am not the physical body, then why I claim that I am physical body? No. He takes it very comfortably that I am the physical body. So this is how the thing is. Shrutva api enam atmanam na veda. Na veda means na vijanati. Kasyit, someone doesn't know. Even after listening. This is enough in this verse. Now let's go to the next verse. Dehi nityamavadhyoyam Dehe sarvasya bharata Tasmat sarvani bhutani Natvam shochitum arhasi. Well, Bhagavan says here, Dehi nityam avadhyoyam Dehe sarvasya bharata. So Bharata, O Arjuna, well, this Atma, Dehi, Atma, this is the indweller of the bodies of all the beings, is even indestructible, because avadhyah, so indestructible, and therefore tasmat sarvani bhutani natvam shochitum arhasi, therefore you ought not to grieve for all those people. Now we'll have to see here the meaning in detail. See, what Bhagavan is telling that, what is the object of the grief? Let us first decide. And then we should grieve for that. So our first thing is, in all the people, there are two things. One is this deha, body, and other is the indweller of the body. And there are only two things. Body is there and indweller of the body is there. So out of these two, which deserves the grief? Which deserves the grief? Body deserves the grief, or the indweller of the body deserves the grief? Then Bhagavan has, of course, told these things. We have already seen a lot of things, but we are just as though summarizing here. So Bhagavan has shown with lot of lot of logic, etc. Well, that if the body dies, not the question. Body is subject to death, and what is subject to death will die. And in that case, if it is so, that is certain, then the people who are intelligent, will not grieve for it, which is certain. So the body is subject to death and will die, and therefore that is not an object of grief. One doesn't deserve a grief for the body. Then only question is dehi, which is indweller. Deha is not a object for Deha does not deserve a grief. Then dehi deserves a grief. Two things are there. Well, now Bhagavan says dehi nityam avadhyah, and lastly says natvam shochitum arasi. So dehi from the Bhagavan's angle, dehi also does not deserve a grief. Deha does not deserve a grief because it is subject to death and will die. And if it is certain, then definitely doesn't deserve a grief. But dehi also, which is left over now, dehi which is there, another thing is there, and therefore it deserves a grief. Now this dehi we have to see today. Dehi indicates two things actually. Dehi has a two meaning. First thing is, here Bhagavan says dehi avadhyah. See, vadaha means a destruction. Physical destruction is called vadaha. Before let me clarify that. And there is another word, badhaha. One is vadaha, other is badhaha. Vadaha is a physical destruction, physical negation. After destruction, it is negated. So vadaha is a physical destruction. Badhaha is a destruction or a negation by knowledge. These two things are there and we have to learn here. Here Bhagavan says avadhyah. Vadayogyaha vadhyah, which is fit for destruction, is vadhyah. And avadhyah, which is not fit for destruction. What is not fit for destruction? Dehi, the indweller of the body, definitely is not subject to destruction. Avadhyah. Nityam avadhyah. Forever, this dehi, the indweller of the body, it is ever, all the time, it is ever indestructible. That's we have to understand. Therefore, that doesn't deserve grief. If something gets destroyed, it is not destroyed today, but tomorrow tomorrow it gets destroyed. Still, then I will have a grief. Bhagavan says nitya vadhyah. But who is this dehi? We'll have to see. There are two meanings of the dehi. Well, let's say this way. This body, the owner of the body, this particular body, are two owners are there of this body. Let us say this way. Two owners of the body. One is by default a owner. And what is that? Who is that owner? Satchidatma, right? Satchidananda is one, this Atma or the Brahman. Well, through the Maya, he is the, abhinna nimitto, padana karanam. And so he is, non-separate. He is the material cause and he is the efficient cause. And therefore, so he is the Ishvara. He is the Satchidatma through Maya. He is the Ishvara who has created this body. He is a owner of the body. Second owner of the body is Ahankara. Because Ahankara claims. So let us give a validity to its claim. Let us not try to go to the Paramarthic stand. And so Dehi indicates both the things. Dehi means Ahankara because it indwells in the body, called Jivaha, or Dehi means one who indwells in the body, the Sachidatma, through his Maya is the owner of the body, and that also is called a Dehi. And therefore, either of these two who have a claim on this body, well, we should take the meaning and either Ahankara or either Ishvara, is not subject to destruction. Ishvara means here, let's say Brahman, is not subject to destruction. But Swamiji, you are saying Ishvara or Brahman? Please clarify and then go ahead. Let us take Sachidatma. Well, it is Sachidatma is the owner of this body because it provides existence, it provides the even illumination to the body, and it shines on account of Brahman. It has existence on account of Brahman, and therefore, well, Brahman is a owner of the body. Let us say that way. And the other is this Ahankara, also is a owner of the body, and it claims. Ahankara all the time claims also, this is me, this is me, this is me. And therefore let us say, the indweller of the body, Dehi, there are two, either Brahman, either Ahankara. And both in Bhagavan's as Bhagavan claims, both are avadhyah. Both are not subject to destruction at all. Now this we will have to understand. And let us go, even though they are not subject to, I will talk about it, how Jiva is not destroyed. So, even though they are not subject to destruction, but they are definitely not subject to destruction physically, they are subject to destruction by knowledge. That's a great thing. They are means what? Basically Ahankara, not Sachidatma. But Ahankara is subject to destruction or negation by knowledge. Ahankara is not subject to destruction physically. That please we should understand this. Ahankara is not subject to destruction called Vadaha physically. And still Ahankara is subject to destruction by knowledge called Badha. So Ahankara is not subject to Vadaha, but Ahankara is subject to Badha. That's what I mean. So there is a destruction of Ahankara, but not physical destruction. Ahankara cannot be destroyed by fire. Ahankara cannot be destroyed. That is Dehi, cannot be destroyed by water, cannot be drowned. That is already come on Nainam Chindanti Shastrani, etc. Swamiji, but that was talking about Sachidatma. Correct. At that time I said even Jivatma cannot be destroyed. Why Jivatma cannot be destroyed by fire? Why Jivatma cannot be destroyed by, cannot be dried up by air? Jivatma cannot be drowned into the water. Why not? Jivatma cannot be destroyed by even not by weapons, etc. also. Well, there is a reason for it. So Jivatma also is avadhyah, and well, of course, Sachidatma also is avadhyah. That is also called Dehi, or Dehi you can call it Ahankara. Both are avadhyah, and nityam avadhyah. Permanently, ever indestructible, both Jiva or Brahman, which are the indwellers of the body. Either two are there or one is there. Well, they are two. When they are two, yeah, they are two. For whom? For ignorant person. And they are one only for a jnani. Please understand this. When I say Dehi, indweller of a body, we should understand the meaning as per the context. And therefore, Dehi can be Satchidananda Atma, or Dehi can be merely this Jivatma also. Either way. But anyway, so this Dehi is not subject to destruction physically forever. So Bhagavan says, Dehi nityam avadhyah. Now what happens is, when you destroy anything physically, then you cannot, there will be always something remaining. This is a beautiful thing between Vadaha and Badaha. The biggest difference between the two is this. When you when anything is subject to physical destruction, then you will always find a residue. Always find anything. Like this body, let us say, everyone has accepted body is subject to destruction by even weapon, body is subject to destruction by fire, etc., etc. Whatever way you destroy this body, there will always be some residue. Even if you burn it, there will be residue, right? In terms of some, all this what is left over is anyway. Or if it is drowned, well, there will be some residue. Even if you cut, well, it will be residue. Like a person who is beheaded, suppose, there will be residue. And drowned, residue. Burnt, residue. Bhasma will remain, right? And through ashes, ashes will remain. And therefore, any way you destroy the body, that's a physical destruction. Physical body undergoes physical destruction. There will not be Bada at all. Please understand here, right now. We'll talk about that Bada later. I am talking about Vadaha. Vadaha means a physical destruction of the physical body, and it is subject to physical destruction. Well, there will be some residue. Now come to Badaha. Destruction by knowledge or negation. Earlier I used the word negation, but here Vadaha has come, so I am taking the destruction altogether in other Badaha also. Badaha means a destruction by knowledge, in that there is no residue. No residue left. Like our snake on rope. When snake is destroyed through the knowledge, well, it goes forever. Not that it was there before. Really speaking, it was not there before. It is not there right now when the knowledge takes place of the rope, and it will not be there later also. So this kind of whenever a rope snake is destroyed, when its method of destruction is a knowledge, then there will not be any residue left. Any residue left. And so here there are two types of destruction. Now I will just summarize this before I go further. So two types of destruction. One is a physical destruction, and the other one is a destruction by knowledge. And the first destruction, called Vadaha, there will be some residue. And in this Badaha, the destruction by knowledge, there will not be a residue at all. And Ahankara is basically Nityaha Avadyaha. Ahankara cannot be destroyed by basically, the Dehi, that is Ahankara. I am taking this meaning right now. Atma cannot be destroyed, we have seen so many times. So this Ahankara, let us call this Dehi, the indweller of the body. Well, that is not available for physical destruction. Just as this Ahankara, but Ahankara is available for destruction through knowledge. Through knowledge. And so then we have to now compare with the Rajju Sarpa. We have to compare this Ahankara with the Rajju Sarpa. We cannot compare it, Ahankara, with this physical body, etc. Anyway, so this Badaha means, so Ahankara is subject to destruction by knowledge, not subject to destruction physically. Well, and this by Badaha means one by knowledge, one will know this Ahankara's Mithyatva. It was not there before, it is not there right now, it will not be there later. That kind of a destruction will be there. And so this basically when you get knowledge of a Adhisthana, then you know this Ahankara is Mithya. Mithya means it was not there before, it is not there right now, it will not be there. This. Now, what happens in the knowledge is, how will you know, Swamiji, this Ahankara becomes Ahankara gets destroyed through knowledge? what happens is, see, the ahankara is nothing but the manifestation of the self in aham vritti. That is the Chaitanya's or consciousness reflected in the aham vritti. And basically, aham vritti is a part of the subtle body. Aham vritti is a part of the subtle body. So identified with the subtle body, definitely. Get reflected means identified with the subtle body, identified with the I thought. This indweller of the body, dehi or ahankara, sustains. So even after the physical body is destroyed, still that subtle body remains. Subtle body remains means the mind remains. Mind remains means the I thought remains. I thought remains means ahankara also remains. Right? Ahankara remains, and that ahankara along with that subtle body keeps on moving from one physical body to the next physical body to the third physical body, like that. And so ahankara basically is sustained. Ahankara also gets destroyed, but let's not talk about it right now. But ahankara, physically also destroyed, that is later, we'll see. But ahankara is basically, we can tell that it is bada yogya. It is negated through the knowledge. Once you identify, once you know yourself that I am not that individual, or I am not this physical body, I am not the subtle body, I am not the senses, I am not the prana, etc., then definitely that I will remain. That is, even before you know yourself, you definitely tell yourself that I am a conscious being. But more than you are telling about that you are a conscious being, you are telling something else also. What you are telling? I am a human being. Let's forget about physical body. But other than that also you are telling. What? That I am mind, definitely. I am emotions. I am senses. I am a seer, hearer, etc. All this is ahankara. So all this you are saying. Now you know that you are not this subtle body. Definitely you are not manomaya kosha, you are not vijnanamaya kosha, you are not pranamaya kosha, etc. Then definitely the I conscious being will remain. It will remain. And it only remains after the knowledge. Only things, the notions which were there, they are dropped. Like, this is snake. I think this was told by even Swamiji also yesterday. Like this is a snake and this is a rope. The same this is with the snake also. So this is universal. Puja Swamiji said yesterday, this is universal, because you attach this is with everything. This is pen, this is book, this is clip, this is that, this is camera, etc. So this is universal. But what you put later is all a adhyaropa. In case of, at least in the rope snake example, let us say that this is rope is a knowledge, this is snake is a error. But even when the error is there, where this is remains. And when the knowledge takes place, this is remains. Same way here. This indweller of the body, dehi, ahankara, he negates all those things which are the part of the subtle body. Right? I am not talking about a physical body, because we have seen already physical body is subject to death. Now we are seeing this subtle body and the consciousness which is reflected in it. We call it as ahankara. This ahankara, I am, a conscious being, etc. also will remain. But other than that, what you speak about yourself or know about yourself, they are negated, destroyed by the knowledge. And I am just a conscious being remains, which was there initially, which is there even when you are getting the knowledge for the destruction of ahankara. At that time also I am a conscious being. And after the destruction of the subtle body, that is bada, please understand, destruction by knowledge, still this ahankara has gone now, but I am consciousness will remain. And therefore, basically, like when we say this is snake, and then when you get a knowledge, when you say this is rope now, earlier also this was indicating a rope only. And when you are getting the knowledge of the rope, at that time also this is indicating the rope only. And after the snake is destroyed through the knowledge, this is connected again to the rope. So question is The snake was not there initially also. Snake is not there when you are knowing it also. And a snake won't be there later also. Could you follow now? So snake, when you destroy the snake through the knowledge of the rope, then you find that no residue of snake remains. No residue of snake remains. Same way, when I say I am an individual or a ahankara, well, you identified with the subtle body, and will not talk about the physical body, but still, which survives. Dehi survives and goes to the other body, etc., other deha also. That dehi basically is also like that. This ahankara also is like that. I am consciousness is satyam. Well, you call it as a conscious being, no problem, because you identified with one particular subtle body, and so you say I am a being, but basically I am consciousness. I am a conscious being is satyam. But other than that, everything, whatever is there, you have destroyed it, negated it by knowledge. Means ahankara was not there before, like that snake. Ahankara was not there before, ahankara is not there right now, ahankara won't be there later also. So there is no residue when you destroy something with the knowledge. And dehi basically is, the indweller of the body, in which the consciousness which is identified with this subtle body, and so we call it as a ahankara or a jivatma, well, is basically are negated in this way. And so when you get a knowledge of adhishthanam brahma, then only you are able to negate it. This is how we say. So basically this, once you don't identify with one subtle body, then you are free. You don't have any dimension, because with the subtle body, well, you are getting reflected it and you have a one dimension. And once you say that I am not a subtle body, then definitely I don't consider myself as a reflected consciousness also, then I am all pervading consciousness. And that is how you can say I am all pervading consciousness in all. Once you identified with one particular subtle body, then you say that you are a limited thing. Like when you say I am a seer, hearer, etc., I am hungry, etc. Well, everywhere there is a sense of limitation. But definitely once you disidentify with the subtle body, then definitely you don't have any dimension. So you are dimensionless. That is how it has been told. Sarva bhutatma bhutatma. I become an atma of all the beings. I am indweller of all the beings, not indweller of this body. So dehi, once he knows, that is called badaha, ahankara's badaha. So negation by knowledge, that is, or destruction by knowledge, in which there is no residue left over. So this is how it has been told here. Anyway, so I have not to become one with the Brahman, but only thing is I am different from Brahman, I am Jiva, etc., and different from Brahman, etc. That notion has to go. That notion has arisen out because there is identification with one subtle body. Physical body, let's not talk about it right now, because Bhagavan is saying sarvasya dehe. In all the dehas, there is a dehi. So let's take this ahankara is such, the indweller of the body. And so the indweller of the body, if you is identified with one subtle body, then definitely you are away from the all-pervading consciousness. The consciousness which is identified with one subtle body, well, that is the jiva. And because of the reflection, you consider yourself as a jiva. But once you know, the badha takes place through the knowledge, you say that I am one with all-pervading consciousness. I am atma of all-pervading. I am atma of all the bhutas, not only indweller of this body. So this is how it has been told here. And further, dehi nityam avadhyoyam. I am atma, which is dehi, is nityam avadhyah. And where? Sarvasya dehe, in all the dehas, O Bharata, tasmat sarvani bhutani natvam shochitum arhasi. And therefore for Bhishma, etc., for them you should not grieve, because even if you consider them as a jiva, etc., well, jiva also does not get destroyed. Now, before we finish off, I would like to complete this thing also. Jiva also is avadhyah. Jiva also is not physically destroyed. Why? Because Jiva means if this physical body is destroyed, but Jiva which is identified with the subtle body also is not available for physical destruction. That's how avadya. Because subtle body, I have told you at that time when we were discussing Nainam Chindanti Shastrani etc., I have told you that even the subtle body is not available to be destroyed by fire or earth, weapons, or by, it cannot be dried up by the wind, it cannot be drowned also. The subtle body I am talking. The subtle body itself is not available. Then one who identified with the subtle body also, the jiva, etc., the consciousness which is identified with this also cannot be destroyed. Because the subtle body, if it destroys, then you say the identified with this, the consciousness also, the jiva also will be drowned. Then Swamiji, but it is said nityam avadhyah. It is told that it is forever it is not destroyed. Is it true? No, it is not true. Why? This jiva also will go away in Mahapralayam. When Mahapralayam takes place, the subtle body itself resolves. Please understand this. Subtle body, the existence of the subtle body, and therefore the existence of a jiva will be there between the whole creation of the cycle of the whole creation. So from when creation starts and the whole creation gets destroyed, that the pralaya takes place, between them the jiva will remain. Why jiva will remain? Because the subtle body will remain. But when the Mahapralaya takes place, well, definitely the subtle body also resolves. If subtle body resolves, where is a reflection? And therefore jiva also dissolves in Mahapralaya. And therefore this kind of a nityam is not a absolute, absolutely it will be there. It will be there in a relative way. So between the one cycle of creation, this jiva will continue. This deha will die every 100 years or whatever. But physical bodies keep on dying. And the jiva which is there in this body, indweller of the body, goes along with the subtle body, which I have talked to you already. And that goes on and on like that till the end of the creation. And whatever the number of years. And then subtle body also resolves. Then jiva will be there just in a causal state, which we call maya. So then jiva is unmanifest, totally. Jiva is a unmanifest. Jiva is also considered manifest even when it is identified with the subtle body. Please understand this. And so only thing is it starts functioning. Jiva starts functioning and jiva starts experiencing its fruits of action when it enters the gross body. It cannot, only by identification with the subtle body, jiva cannot enjoy any good or bad the results. When it enters into the physical body, it can. And therefore, jiva continues till the end of the cycle of the creation. And then subtle body resolves, well, then basically the jiva also resolves. But its own karmas and his own vasanas and everything will be there. And avidya, of course, is there. So causal state continues. And therefore jiva jiva is in unmanifest state. And all the jivas in unmanifest state is called maya. And then Ishvara, of course, maya is basically a non-separate from Parameshwara. And so the next cycle of creation, when all the karmas of all the jivas are ready to fructify, then again next cycle of creation takes place. So Dehi, if you consider as an indweller of the body, as a ahankara or a jiva, well, that is also nityam. It is avadyam. It cannot be physically destroyed because subtle body is not available for destruction through the fire or through the weapons, etc. And therefore jiva cannot be destroyed physically, therefore avadyam, and nityam also. But sapeksha nityam. So sapeksha nityam. And if you say no, jiva, this ahankara or jiva gets permanently destroyed, well, through knowledge. that I was never a jiva. I am not a jiva and I will never be a jiva. That knowledge puts an end permanently, without residue, to the ahankara. That's all. Ahankara. But Swamiji, you said that mithya, but mithya means it has a seeming existence. That's a seeming existence. Seeming existence means it is almost non-existent. It exists because it has a Vyavaharik Satta, but it is not there. Like pot is there. It has a transactional reality. But how? Definitely you see what is the essence of the pot. You find that there is nothing called pot. And therefore ahankara also is like that. It's a seemingly existent thing. That's how it is called badita ahankara. Through the bada, through the negation, through the destruction of knowledge. Well, the rope snake cannot be destroyed with the weapon, with the fire, with the water. You cannot drown it also. You cannot destroy it through drowning that rope snake in water. Rope snake can be only destroyed without leaving any residue. Only way of destroying the rope snake is put an end through knowledge. That's all. Ahankara also falls in the same category. Same category. Just knowledge. And where the knowledge takes place, in which form the knowledge takes place. The same I. Like the same this becomes rope. Earlier this was a snake and now this is the rope. Same way, the same I. Earlier I was saying I am jiva, I am this, I am that, I am seer, I am etc. etc. I am karta, I am bhokta. Same I comes to know that I am just a consciousness. But then this knowledge has arisen, right? No sir. This knowledge was there even before you go to the teacher. You know you are a conscious being. Only you are going for removing the notion, dropping the notion. You are not going, you are one with Brahman at that time also. And that's how you are saying I am a conscious being. You are not able to negate it also. In any case, even if you know yourself as just a consciousness or not, you cannot negate this, that I am a conscious being. You cannot negate. I am a conscious being cannot be proved by any means of knowledge. You don't require any means of knowledge to say I am a conscious being. But all this subtle body, because of the identifying with the subtle body, well, you say I am seer, hearer, etc. I am karta, I am bhokta, I am jiva, etc. All this. And the physical body I am not including. Therefore, you drop that thing. We are talking in this was only for the dehi. But so removing those notions only, you go to the teacher. And earlier also you were a conscious being. While you are knowing from the teacher through the words, you are a conscious being. And later also you will be a conscious being. That's all. I was never a jiva. That's a knowledge. I was never subject to birth and death is a knowledge. Not that now I will not get birth, Swamiji. Of course I took once, but I will not enter now in the another body. I earlier took the birth. That's not knowledge. I was never born is a knowledge. I was never subject to death is a knowledge. I am not subject to birth, not subject to death is a knowledge. I will not have any birth or death is a knowledge. Now what is the residue left? Please see. What is the residue left? No residue. That's the difference between vadaha and badaha. Vadaha means physical destruction. Some residue will left. Destruction by knowledge. No residue left. Because it was not there to begin with. And that's how I say I am different from Brahman, all pervading Brahman. Well, that distance is just in terms of ignorance only. Because of identifying with the one subtle body, well, because of that, because due to self-ignorance, of course, then definitely you feel you are a jiva and Brahman is a other entity. You are Brahman, but if you remove the identification, you know that you and Brahman are, you and Brahman were one, you and Brahman are one, you and Brahman will be one. Will be one. That's a knowledge. So definitely, if I am going to the teacher and expose myself to the teaching for one purpose only, to remove the notion that I am different from Brahman. That's all. Not I am not going to the teacher to become one with Brahman. By Tattvamasi, I become one with Brahman. Sir, you were one with Brahman. That's how you are able to tell that I am a conscious being. So that consciousness is Brahman. And that is only my real nature. And that's how I is connected all the time with that conscious being. But due to identification with the one subtle body, because of ignorance, well, you and Brahman as though were separated. So this Vedanta, in Vedanta, this is told all the time that you, by the knowledge, you don't think that you and Brahman become one. Well, I am different from Brahman, that notion only goes. Don't think that way, that I and Brahman become one. There is no point. There is no knowledge of that sort. Knowledge is always in terms of removing the notions which have arisen, self-confusions which have arisen due to self-ignorance, right? So this is the difference between Vadaha and Badaha. So Ahankara is definitely Avadhyaha, Nityam Avadhyaha, Sapeksha Nityam. Through that, Ahankara will remain, Jiva will remain through the cycle of creation. Then the subtle body dissolves, Jiva also dissolves. That's correct. So Nityam Avadhyaha cannot be destroyed also physically, but Badha Yogya, it can go. The Jivatvam, the individual, I am an individual, or what we call it as a Jiva hood, whatever it is. So that goes. And earlier I was Brahman, I am Brahman right now, and I will be Brahman. That only remains. Jiva remains as a seemingly existent thing. A seemingly existent thing cannot have any residue. Therefore, this is how it is. Like, what is a residue from the pot? What is a residue from? Samaji, that's a residue. But earlier it was a clay. Right now also it is clay. It will be clay. What is residue from the pot? You have destroyed the pot as such by knowledge. What is the residue from the pot? No residue. Right? So this is how we have to understand. So I'm saying, I'm trying to convey to you the nature of teaching. And it is only in terms of removing the notion. What is the notion? That I am different from all-pervading Brahman. Well, who has created this? A identification with the subtle body. Who has identified? Consciousness identified. What has arisen? Ahankara has arisen. So the Ahankara now knows. Ahankara is born of mistake, and that Ahankara only knows that I am Brahman. Who has done mistake will realize the mistake. That's how it is. Who knows? This is how this kind of questions are there. Who knows that the Ahankara, I am Brahman? Who knows that? Ahankara only knows. Ahankara is born of mistake, and it only knows. That's all, that I am Brahman. Because that I is a reality. I am is a reality. It is never available for negation. I'm a conscious being. Well, he becomes a negator and negates everything. That is never subject to negation. That must be the reality. And therefore, I am Brahman only he knows by dropping the notion that I am Jiva. And no residue is left. So it is Badha Yogya, natu Vadha Yogya. Cannot be destroyed otherwise. Right? Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.